Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Scrapbook Live session for the month of May of 2023. It is a special day in two ways today. We've got International Scrapbooking Day today. Yay. So there is so many fun things around online. So you can, if you're looking for deals, today is your day. And if you're trying to avoid deals, look away, girl, look away. Because if you're trying to be on some kind of spending freeze, today is a rough day if you go online or check your emails or do any of those things. So enjoy all of the fun things that you can find online and different activities, including this one. So on top of that, today was Royal Coronation Day, right? King Charles had his coronation. He got to wear the crown today, and so that is also in the news. So other than that, we're going to be scrapbooking. It is not a royal related page today because we are in the middle of our load. We are doing our load that is all inspired by the Muppets. It is load 523, Frogs, Pigs, and Fuzzy Bears. And so every day we are inspired by the Muppets. And this week we've been taking a little stroll down Sesame Street. So for today, our Muppet of inspiration is Oscar the Grouch. Your top today, it's not easy being green or Oscar. You bet, yeah. It's Oscar the Grouch Day. And so if you can relate to being a little bit of a grouch once in a while, or you have some pet peeves, well, that is what we have on the menu for our story topic today. It says to scrapbook about something that makes you feel grouchy, maybe a pet peeve, and what do you do about it? So maybe your story is actually about the turning around this grouchy situation, right? And for technique, use some metal or metallic on your page inspired by Oscar's trash can. So we'll see what's in my kit. As for metallics, I might have to go digging to kind of be able to include that on my page if it doesn't make it a well, but I do have a really fun take on the grouchy topic for today. So I have to show you what's in my kit and then I'll show you my pictures, but I'm actually kind of dying to show you my pictures today. So it's going to be good. And I don't have Oscar the Grouch glasses, but these ones are Cookie Monster. So, really good. And that might not be a hint as to what something that's coming up. So here we go. We are going to look at what's in my kit first from the ScrapRoom. You can find the Flavors of the Month kit at the ScrapRoom at scrap-room.com. And I love their kits. They're so good. And let's just dive right in. So I've got my little instruction sheet, and the coffee sample for this month is turtle. So yummy. Literally, I opened my thing. I'm like, is this like for scrapbooking or snacking? It smells so good. Dangerous. So in addition to the regular kit, I have the add-ons. And so we'll look at that as we explore the 4 little mini kits. Well, I can do this thing right here. Did I do the thing? Yeah, I did. Good job, Alice. Figured it out. Okay, so let's look at the kits one at a time. First up is from Crate Paper. This is pretty. And this is called Gingham Garden. Now, I will say right off the bat, there is a little bit of gold metallic on here. So Oscar's trash can might not be gold, but metallic counts. Is all good. So there is a little bit of gold. It says, keep it up, feels like home, smile, our happy life. And so these are the chipboard, like the thick, foamy ones or whatever. Let's have a look. What do they call them? A quarter pack of thickers foam stickers. So you get the variety. You get a quarter pack of them. Isn't that nice? Now I'm kind of like waiting to get to this paper because it's so gorgeous. But I also have this sheet of stickers from the Crate Paper sticker sheet. So I've got one sheet minus all these pretty flowers. And then we get to the papers. Okay, so these over here. And we get to the papers. This one is so pretty. Like I'm already like, oh, just loving this. So we've got this gingham garden paper. This one with the butterflies is called A Light. Isn't that just lovely? And then on the back, we've got this nice pink polka dot. And then, well, it's pink with white polka dots, but they're like not perfect polka dots, right? They're like squishy dots. And then we've got a nice colorful stripe paper. This one's called In the Shade. And then a really subtle kind of background, but yeah, it almost looks up darker on here, but like in person, it actually seems a little more subtle, I would say, just looking at my screen. Yeah, April says, I love that butterfly paper. I love the colors. And then this one here, oh, this is the backside because it doesn't have the name on it. So very nice. It's like giant polka dots, but they're made of like little mini leaves and stuff. So that's kind of cool, right? And then, oh, this one's called Timeless. Look how pretty that is. A nice wood grain. That's like subtle. You can kind of do anything with that. I like this a lot. This is a beautiful kit. It's subtle and soft. Then I've got 2 sheets of fig swirl cardstock. And I'd say this fig swirl is like the lightest kind of gray you can have. Wood grain goes with nearly everything. That's right. And Katie says she loves my Cookie Monster glasses. Me too. Me too. When I ordered them, I'm like, am I too big of a little kid? Because when I ordered these, were we even doing the Muppets? I don't think so. I just ordered them because I'm me. So there you go. This first kit is gorgeous. What's in my little bonus? Let's have a look. Okay, so this is the add-on embellishment kit. And I like to get that because I think this gives me a few more fun things to play with. And this one, oh, let's have a look at this. We got some butterfly washi tape that matches kind of with this paper. That's really pretty. That's pretty. Okay, so that's the first one. What did I do with the pack? I'm like, oh, here it is. I'm like, did I lose it already? I swear I almost organized. I cleaned off this much of my desk for you guys, just for you. Okay, our next one is like totally different. Welcome, Sharon. She's like, I'm sorry I'm late. Or no, she says that she's like, you've arrived. You're just on time. The next one is Echo Park, and it's called Let's Go Travel. And we have a full 12 by 12 sticker sheet of all the fun stuff. So you can see the clock tower. We've got some luggage. We've got luggage up on top of the car. There's little airplanes and little embellishments. Let's go travel. There's a passport, some arrows. I love arrows. Honestly, kits don't include enough arrows. I'm just saying. There's a nice little globe and some suitcase stuff. Destination. I like this, those little words. Like, is there anywhere that you can still see these? Because those are super fun. Like those like word things with the clicky letters. I saw them in one airport and I was like so excited. I probably filmed it and sent it to Joe because I was like, look, if they have one of those word boards. And then now we've got this globe paper. This is like a more muted color scheme. Actually, this almost looks like a fall color scheme. I'm just saying. Nancy's here from Minnesota. I'm up in Alberta, Canada. I like the globes. And they actually, like, these ones have like an actual like globe kind of pattern on them. And then you've got like neat little details on some of the other ones. Okay, on the back side, we've got little jets, but it's like tone on tone, monochromatic. And then this one has jets with the different colors from the kit. And then we've got this green kind of like a stitched squares. And then a beautiful looking plaid. This is nice. With very muted tones. And then this looks like a city map. And then I've got 2 sheets of, what do they call it? Craft cardstock. They just call it craft. So that is what is in this kit. I'll tell you, my photos, I am traveling in them, but they're not really travel-y kind of photos. So I don't know if I would choose this today, even though I'm traveling, which is going to be funny. April says I'm a sucker for any kind of matte paper. Aren't those ones easy to use? I find those so easy to use. You put your stuff, especially if it's monochromatic like that, it makes a nice subtle background. And I like bold stuff, but I still like those too. Yeah, those are good. The destination board, arrivals and departures. I love it. Should we see what's in the extras? We should see what's in the extras. What do we get for extras? Okay, in the bonus add-ons, we've got this full packet of chipboard pieces. And so you see some of the same type of icons that were in the stickers, but now in the chipboard pieces. Some nice little banners. Collect moments, not things. Somebody should have told my house that. It is full of things. We got bicycles, travel, lots of good stuff. So I'm gonna pop that in there. And then next up, we've got the Fancy Pants Honey and Bee collection. So first off, there is a little bit of little pieces in here. So we've got a variety of ephemera, and it says it's a sixth of a pack of the ephemera. And honestly, if I was scrapbooking, this would be plenty of ephemera pieces. I don't know if you're like me, but I have a lot of little ephemera pieces left over when I scrapbook. I just don't use like gigantic quantities of them. So having a sixth of the pack actually looks kind of about right. And in addition to that, I have some of the puffy stickers, the sixth of the pack of the puffy stickers as well. Get that to focus. There we go. So you can see the cute little honey and bee designs. So that's pretty cute. I wouldn't say my photos are especially honey and bee related, but this wouldn't be terrible. We'll see as we get to my stuff. So this first paper, it has pretty subtle, like, I wouldn't say it's subtle, it's definitely not subtle, but the tones are muted, right? They're not bright and in your face. So if all of the bright rainbow colors and are a little bit too much and you're like, wow, that's a lot, and you want your photos to kind of be able to take a stance against them, then something a little more subtle could be good. We have a big hexagon pattern. It's just on white, right? That's nice. Like, kind of leaves you options. I want to ink that like so bad, right? I look at that, I'm like, oh, we can take a brush, we can ink this. This would be great. And even this white stripe, I'm like, oh, that could be colored. April says I could see black and white and heritage photos with this, right? Yes. And here we go. We've got the honeybees making a showcase here, and then we've got this yellow monochromatic with this fun kind of print. What do you call these? Like, we see papers like this a lot, but is there a name for them? Because if somebody knows like what this would call, it's like labels and stuff or something. I don't even know. But this label, like, fill the page with all the little labels and words. That's a common like page design, but it's not quite subway art, says April, right? Like, I'm like, I don't know what to call it, but maybe the designers, like, they should help me out. I got 2 sheets of white cardstock with that. And okay, so like if we're looking at all of the crazy patterns at the same time, here's all the crazy patterns together. That looks really nice, right? Like, you can see all the colors that go with that then. And then all of the more subtle, if you can call this black and white hexagon one subtle, those are the more subtle ones. So you've got some good selections to kind of mix and match things together. And then, okay, in here, what do we got? We've got beautiful. So there is ephemera pieces, and it says that we get a 6th of a pack of ephemera pieces. Oh, no. This is in the add-ons. So this is in the add-ons. I don't actually know. This is like a mixture of embellishment pieces. for my add-ons. So normally they say on my sheet, it doesn't today. So yeah, we've got lots of pieces and they're like larger, so they'd be really good for adding to your embellishment clusters, or even for some of them being the base of an embellishment cluster with the tags and the label type pieces. So that is very pretty. The photos that I have actually would go quite well because they're fairly neutral, and there actually is a little bit of this like blue color in one of the shirts that someone's wearing. So looks good. And then finally, there's one more kit. One more kit. So we'll pop that one away and we'll look at the last one. So if you want to let me know, have you already been looking at the deals for International Scrapbooking Day, or are you like actively looking away? If you're like, no, I can't see them, I can't look. Or are you partaking in deals, or do you have like some of the activities booked for today and you're fitting in all the fun crops and different challenges and things that are available? Okay, so this kit is from Simple Stories and it's called Simple My Story. Oh no, it's called My Story. Simple Stories, it's called My Story. And so we have this pretty paper for the background. I can't wait to see this. We have to look at this first. Debbie says she's actively looking away, but sideways glancing at deals. Now, if that isn't the truth. Like, oh, I'm trying not to look, but I can't help it. Okay, so we have some foam back stickers here. And then there is some, I got like a big variety of here. So there's actually some little metal bits and pieces right here, the brads, the Simple Stories brads. And can you see they have like little designs on them? You can see a globe and a plant and a whatever's on that other one. Maybe it's a watering can or something. I don't know. Oh, a basket of seeds. I'm not sure yet. Maybe we'll see. So yeah, and then there's some little pieces to go with that. The cute little dining set. Nice. And then we got this paper, and on the back, very nice, subtle. So if this was screaming at you saying, wow, that's a lot, then look at the nice background it gave you. And then we've got some little flowers. These little flowers are kind of interesting because they actually have like little white outlines around all of them. When you look up close, you can see like little white outlines. But when you're looking at the whole page, like you don't actually really notice that. And in a way, they almost looked like strawberries. Like if you were doing a strawberry page, you could probably get away with this. Like they're definitely not strawberries, but like you could see it would work, right? And then we've got the, like it's a grid, and I'm trying to figure out if those lines are straight, but it's hurting my eyes. So I'm thinking they're not quite straight. They look like they're, and I think it's just that the lines themselves are drawn like in a way that they get thick and thin, right? Can I get you to see that? Do you see the craziness of those lines? I'm not sure that I love that. I'm just gonna confess, when I look at it, my eyes actually go like they're trying to focus. Like they're trying to focus. I'm not sure that that's my favorite. Small doses, right? In small doses, it would be a great thing. Like that little tiny bit there, I could do that. That would be good. So we think about that. So there's never like a full, well, maybe there is, but maybe it's like a full write-off. And then we've got this nice diamond pattern. It has little stars in the middle, or not just polka dots, or cute little stars. And then we've got a nice bookie collection. Anybody's a little bookie, this would be perfect. And then we've got 2 sheets of green, probably has a name. Nixon green. Okay, Nixon green cardstock. But I like this. Not sure about that one, but but all together, very nice. Actually, I really like the whole collection together. And in addition to this, we've got in my extra embellishment kit, I've got the full sheet of stickers. Let's show it. And we've got stories and like lounge chairs and sofa chairs and all kinds of stuff. There's like a my story on the laptop. I love the little word art stuff. Like I use these actually quite a bit as little embellishment pieces. So I love getting those kind of things. The little poodle dog. That actually kind of ties in with the little seating thing. So there's like almost like an undertone of a French flair, but not quite, right? I need to make a book journal this week. Dawn, this is what you needed. So those are the kits that I have, and they are gorgeous and they are beautiful. And one of them is going to work just fine for what I want to create today. I don't actually know which one. I didn't pre-pick them or anything. Dawn is going to watch me and get her page done. Yay. And she said she's starting to feel better. I get my hit kit clubs each month. Can't look at anything else to buy. She's thrilled to have gotten 5 out of 5 days for a load. So after I do my page today and we do the draw, because there will be a draw, we are going to give away one of these full kits, like not with the extra embellishments. It's just the main flavors of the month kit, but somebody will get one of these flavors of the month kit. We will give one of those away. That'll be awesome. Okay, so now I have to show you my pictures. Okay. Yeah. So let's have a look at these pictures. Now, we know that we're inspired by Oscar the Grouch. And so we're scrapbooking something that makes you feel grouchy, maybe a pet peeve. What do you do about it? And so if you think about like that look of disgust on your face, you'd be like, oh, that's like horrible, something disgusting. And when I was over in Wales, I got to hang out with my cousins. And one of my cousins said, oh, have you guys seen this new filter on Instagram? It's called Disgust. It's the Disgust filter. Now, if anybody has seen this, you know where I'm going, because we started looking at this filter, and you could have like 2 people in the picture and it would do the filter to both of your faces. And like literally we're laughing so much. Our faces are like the biggest smiles in the world, but it made our faces look like we were totally disgusted with something. So while we're on the edge of the disgust, it's not actually about something that makes me unhappy, because I have these pictures to show you guys. They're just as bad as you think. So those are our faces. And I promise you, as we were taking these, we are laughing. Like we had the biggest smiles on our face because we're like, we can't believe what we can see on these pictures, like on the phone as it's showing us. So we're taking screen captures because it was just too funny. And you can see like they distort your face and stuff. Like she doesn't actually have one eyeball that's like 3 inches lower than the other. Like they're distorted. They're weird and hilarious. And, like, so bad. But oh my goodness, did we ever laugh? Like so crazy. So if you're not a Snapchat person, find a Snapchat person and try that filter. It is ridiculous. But try it with other people, because that's the most fun. Like we laughed our butts off, and it just made for such a fun little thing that we were like doing as we were just sitting around and hanging out. Oh my gosh, yes. Lauren says yes, that filter. So yeah. And I thought, well, that look of disgust, that kind of fits in with the whole Oscar the Grouch thing, and it'll give me a chance to really play with these pictures that are just so funny. Oh, because you can't actually believe it. Like, you know that your face isn't making that, but you almost want to check, right? Like, what are my cheeks doing that? Is my face doing that? So the reason I said that I have options, so I think the travel one I would do like more kind of travel. I really want to focus on the discuss story. I'm not doing a travel story, so I probably wouldn't use the travel one just for this. But I think all three of these could be good for this. Now, this one is extra pretty with all of the butterflies, and the colors kind of fit. If you're looking at the pink sweater, I've got kind of a gray sweater. There's a light blue sweater. And so this one is actually really good too. I think out of all of them, this one is maybe the least, but it has kind of like that teal color too. We got a little green if I want to give a nod to Oscar the Grouch on my page. So that would also be, see, you can see I'm undecided. I think this one could be quite nice. I'm not as drawn to this one as I am to this kit. Like, this is just really pretty to me, but maybe I should try something different just because. Or just go with this one because I like it so much. So, any thoughts? This is where you get to weigh in and be like, just use the butterfly stuff, Alice, or go ahead and use that muted neutral kind of one, or I don't know. Like, I feel like there's not a bad choice. Go with your gut. Okay. Well, hold on a second. Let me just take and see. Like, these ones have the whites and stuff on the background, so that does give me fewer color options. More muted. It'll be quite light if I use any of that. I think I'm gonna go with this one. I think it's like I'm leaning in that direction, so let's just go for it. Okay. There we go. Don't overtop. And the stripes might be nice. That's right, Kelly. The stripes might be nice. I love the last ones. I know there's so many good choices. That was like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, I can't do it wrong, right? I can't do it wrong. That's a thing. Okay, now I told my printer to print these the same size, and they are close to the same size, but not quite. I'm like a little underwhelmed with how not right they are. But we're gonna set these aside. Oh, added bonus, this one does have the gold in it. So if I use some of the gold, then I sneak some metallic on for the technique prompt too. So I think it's a good choice. Okay, we're gonna go with this butterfly paper probably. Let's have a look. Oh, or this, and then accent with the butterfly paper. Very nice. Okay, I'm just gonna cut the strips off of them, and that way I can play with it all. So yes, I think most of you were voting like for the butterflies and mentioning the stripes. So it's like I listen or something every once in a while. Don't tell my husband. Wouldn't want that to be like the expectation or something. Yeah, this is pretty. So Sue, do I see that you're in your new house, in your new space? Are you in there now?
I am. Yay! Although we decided that I have too much stuff and it's stressing me out. And so we decided this is going to be my quilting space, and the loft upstairs, some of the open area is going to be my my scrap area. And then I just have to go up the stairs once and come down. So that's going to be the project in the next couple weeks, is to move everything upstairs. So I'll have a new space. So I get two spaces.
Well, I think you deserve that.
Well, that's what I thought. It was Scott's idea. He said, okay, I'm tired. I mean, it's just too stressful for you trying to figure out how to cram everything into that room. I have tons of windows, which is super awesome. That's why I picked this front room. That's supposed to be like an office, but with tons of windows, there's not room to put like shelves up, so there's like less storage space.
Okay.
So I just have too much stuff.
Well, and it's good stuff because you've been using things. And so like, obviously, like, because you've been going hard, like you've been on a couple years of spending freeze, right?
I have. Kelly says never. Right. You never have too much stuff, but I feel like I'm drowning in paper stuff. And oh my word. I could scrapbook until I'm 300 years old and I would never use up all this paper.
Like, is that a requirement that we have to?
Maybe not.
Maybe you're asking the wrong person if you want different advice. If you want different advice, you're asking the wrong gal, because like
Right.
I should have like a big flashing sign on the screen that says enabler alert, enabler alert.
Yes. Well, I just keep telling myself I have options. I have options. I just keep unpacking boxes and going, oh my gosh, I forgot I had this. Oh my gosh, I forgot I have this. Where am I going to put it? Anyway.
Okay, I'm robbing white paper from one of the other packs because it's right there. And this is like fig, which is nice, but I'm not doing like a double page and I actually want some white paper. So, but I'm the boss of it, so I get to do that, right? Yeah, so much stuff. And I really think about that a lot right now because as I was saying before we went live here, it's there's some wildfires that are alarmingly close. They've evacuated several communities nearby. And you start looking at what you'd put in your go bag, because that's a good idea to be ready. And what else would you pack if you had more time? And ooh, it's like the hard questions are all coming. And then I realized like how many times I've said, oh, I want to take pictures of my layouts, but I haven't done it yet. Right. So that's a thing. So I'm cutting these down because I want them to be actually the same size, because the amount that they're off is enough that my eye can easily see it. And it's already like bothering me. So I'm just going to fix it. I was hoping that I could just use it the way they are, but they're not quite spaced the way I want them. So cutting them apart is the way to go. Now I can get what I want, right? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So that's good. Now, curious if anyone else is working on their load layout, what kind of grouchy story are you telling today? Or did you go off prompt? Because that's totally fine too. You're allowed to be off prompt. There's no requirement during load that you have to use the prompts. They're just there to give you an extra bit of fun or a little nudge in a direction in case you want one. Ooh. So April says, I have 3 doors and a window in my craft room, and it really cramps what I can do, right? Figuring out the storage of a craft space can be a challenge. Can be a challenge. For sure. And I think that one of the problems that I've had is that I've actually been scrapbooking for so long that, as different trends come in and different trends move on, I haven't moved on. Because it's like, well, that was pretty fun and I could do that again. And so sometimes I hang on to stuff from years ago that maybe I don't need to be hanging on to. As I say that out loud, it's really a challenge. Like, Yeah, the IKEA Kallax. Like, how would we store scrapbook stuff without Kallax units, right? Like, how many scrapbookers here have Kallax units of some kind, right? I actually don't, because we did this room custom, and at the time, like, I don't know what, like, I could have just gone there and that could have done this room, but like we did this all custom. Like when the guy was here, it's built out of MDF. Like we didn't do like high end stuff. We put in stuff that was craft room stuff, but it's awesome. Ray says she has 4. Ray says 4. Ross says I have 2 and they're awesome. And yeah, like Kallax unit is great, says Lauren. So and Sue had said I made a wall of Kallax, but it only holds so much. Okay, so we're gonna line these up again. Maybe gonna move me over here and then me over here so that it's a little more split up. Okay, and so I'll have just like thin lines between them, and I'll leave a little more white space on the outsides, I think. Okay, so now I've got that the way I want it. Donna says she has 2, and Jen says I'd love to, but I measured Kallax and it was 7 inches too long to fit the space that I have. That's the challenge. It's a challenge getting the storage that you need. And honestly, okay, here's one of my biggest problems with storage as a challenge. I don't want to pay for storage. I want to pay for scrapbook supplies. I don't want like what I consider my scrapbooking budget going to the organizing part of it. I want to pay for the good stuff that I'm going to use. And so I struggle with that. That for me is a challenge. Just yeah. Let's see. Yeah, our other Donna says that she doesn't have any. She has something from Walmart and Target. And April says, I have fake Kallax my dad bought me for my birthday. It runs under the window and my scrap rack sits on it, which is empty. We thought the squares were the same size, but they are not. Oh, because the Kallax squares are super handy because they work so well for scrapbookers. Okay, let's start sticking these down. And yeah, so yeah, the paying for the storage and paying for the organizers, even though they make your life so much easier when you have them, that's a challenge. Let's see. Marcia says, I think I'm going opposite of the prompt. Her title says, she's no Oscar the Grouch. My youngest granddaughter has got to be the happiest baby on earth. So I want to scrap that. If I knew what prompts were coming up, that might fit that story better. I'd wait, but we'll see. Well, I'm not giving anything away. I don't know. I think that'll work here. I'm trying to think if there's something that would be extra good, like the happiest. I don't specifically know that there's one. There might be one about something that makes you laugh. Yeah, so I just had a little peek. I don't see anything in the next days where you're gonna be like, tomorrow you're gonna be like, I should have saved this for today. Because I think that happens a lot, right? You do something one day and it's like, it's almost right with the prompt, but it's not like exactly. And then the next day the prompt comes up and you're like, well, that would have been perfect. That would have been perfect. But yep. And then, oh, she has a 4x4 calyx. It just holds scrapbooks and some other books. Debbie has many 13x13 squares and 4 columns of paper holders from Michael's. Yeah. Sorting paper, is that like the biggest challenge? What is the biggest organizing challenge that you have in your scrap space right now? Like me, my biggest challenge, I have too much stuff. Like I've let myself grow beyond my boundaries. And I have older stuff taking up spaces where newer stuff could probably go. And an all around like whole lot of stuff. Yeah, Nancy says, I agree, not wanting to pay for storage. Carol says, fortunately, our china cabinets are deep enough for scrapbooking, so I box up the china on the lowest shelf. And it's like, you're something that I'm just looking at, and I would rather to have something that I'm doing something with. I saw a really good thing the other day, or was it when did I see it or was I listening? It becomes a thing. So heard, I encountered something the other day, and it was talking about, you know, they were cleaning out their grandmother's or mother's house. I can't remember which. And she had all these things that she saved for the good, right? It was like the good china and the good tablecloths and the good this and the good that, and she like never used all of these good things that she owned because she was always saving it for something else, like waiting for something better. And it was just like this big reminder to use the good stuff. So don't feel bad, Carol, if you take that china and decide to put that in the cupboard and use it every day for a week. It's probably good for it, right? If it's actual china, it's better when it gets used because it becomes less brittle, right? I read that somewhere, somebody back it up, maybe. Sharon says, I have mostly garage sale items except for stamp pad holders. Ooh, she's the garage sale shopper. That could be turned into a trash. One man's trash, another treasure, right? I see how that could go there. April says so many products are sized for calyx. The fake calyx had free shipping, and Dad lives in California. I'm in Texas, and shipping was a big difference in the price. Well, he was trying. He knew what you were looking for. Debbie says my Oscar the Grouch is a huge group of family at the beach with the oldest grandson Matt, and I'm crying in the photo. Oh, the poor little guy. He turned into the Oscar. Okay, I think I keep looking at this on the stripes, and I want to use these stripes, but the stripes in the wood grain are seriously distracting me. So I'm taking that back out. I'm coming back to the butterfly paper that I love so much. And we're going to bring our stripes in. I want to have some vertical stripe on here or some horizontal stripe. I'm looking at like maybe doing a column, and maybe I could do like a whole side and then have the butterflies out the other side. I might do that. Then I do have this great little blue paper. So if I had that sticking out over here, and then this is like this, and then I cut this with some kind of fancy edgy so that it kind of sticks out the edge here, I think that would be really pretty. So I'm going to do that. I don't have like more of a plan yet because we're not there yet, but this will work for now. Yeah. Dawn says she doesn't have one, but she crafts in a converted dining room and uses her hutch for storage and bookshelves. 5 years ago, my paper pad addiction became a book addiction, and luckily books store a bit easier. Yeah. I think seeing all of the like figuring out how we store our stuff. That's like, it's a challenge. That's a real scrapper challenge, right? Okay, do I want to do a half and half? No, I think I'll do like maybe 4 inches or something like that. And I'm gonna grab one of those little cutter things. This one. Okay, so I brought 2 that I could use. Because I've got this one, it makes a little scallopy with the little holes in it. And then this one has crinkly. So I'm kind of just looking to see like which look I might like better. I think I'm gonna like this one better. I'm gonna do on this blue. So that's what we'll start with next. It does kind of sacrifice some of this paper, but it will be what it'll be. I hate like sacrificing a paper for anything. It's like, ooh, can I just hoard this one piece and make do without it? Right? Like I'm always trying to do that. 10 million pieces of paper in this room. Not like I don't have any others, but maybe I can just hoard this one. If you relate, you relate. Marcia says, "Oh, I love that, Debbie. Pretty sure I have pictures like that too with the crying kids." Oh. My husband absolutely hates family photos because they got lined up a lot for family photos when he was a kid. And he was always like, his grandma actually would tell the story about him being lined up as a little guy, and they're lined up and they're lined up. And he finally was like breaking down. He says, "Take the picture." And she just loved that story. I heard that take the picture story so many times. That's actually a good one for me to scrapbook. Take the picture. Hold on, I need to write that down. That would be a good one for me to scrapbook. But take the picture. Okay, wrote that down for now. I'll put it into the right place after. So, biggest challenge is having more stuff than you can physically have. Kelly says embellishments, too many sizes. Yes. So many different kinds and so many different sizes. The challenge. Finding what I put into organized places. Debbie, that is so real. Oh my gosh. Yes. It's like, I put this away. I just don't know where I put it. It must be really safe. Okay. So I've made this cute little edging, and I gotta bring my little trash can over here and get those little pieces off my desk, or they end up everywhere. It's not quite as bad as glitter. And we will have a little piece of this sticking out from underneath there. All right, just that little bit. So I'll just cut that down, and then we'll cut that to about there. And that will give me, that'll be a little more generous. That'll give me space to put all of my stuff, like my little stories about this. I know that my husband videoed us being all ridiculous with our faces. So I really need to turn that into a video and do a QR code for that. Okay, so I think I'll do 5 inches instead of just 4. Well, it could have been either way. That's fine. And then let's see, a little bit of this one to tuck underneath. Okay. So that's that. Now, question. This has like a little frayed edge. It looks really cute and pretty. The other side obviously doesn't have that now. So I'm trying to think, do I want that to the outside or do I want that to the inside? I'm not quite sure. And I feel like this could actually stand out a little bit more. So I'm actually going to take my ink. We're just going to guess and go with this one. So Nancy said, my challenge is ephemera. It's so hard to figure out how to store. Don said, I found an old metal paper organizer and it holds my 11 by 58 paper. Hold on. Like 8.5 by 11 is, I think that's probably what you meant. And an old mail organizer. Gail says, my biggest struggle right now is paper. Donna says, I got a second wall shelf on my Facebook marketplace to get above my little one's body. Oh, so out of the reach of fingers. That's important. That's very important. Oh, your dad checked and you're like, oh, I think that'll work. That should be great. And then the holes weren't the right size. Stuff happens. I'd probably just find a different place in my house and get the one that I need for the one that doesn't work there, since it doesn't work there. Carol says, good to use the fancy stuff. I do have my fanciest crystal glass as the water glass that we keep by the sink, and some crystal on my bookcases too. There you go. Don't just save the good stuff, use the good stuff, right? That's what we're doing today. I liked the paper, we're using the paper. I liked this other paper and I wanted a little chunk of it, and now I'm using it. So it's all good. Yeah. So oh, the little tours and stuff, Donna, they don't show up very good when we're on these group ones for the Scrapbook Live, just with the format that we do these ones. So I don't know if that would have worked or not. Yeah, and so yeah, I just wanted to ink these because the edges just weren't popping off of the butterfly background very much. So I don't ink a lot of edges. It's kind of something I got out of the habit of ages ago. Alpha bookshelves that hang from the wall, so everything's adjustable. And the work tables are suspended with added support legs for stability. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not sticking it down that way yet. I'm sticking it first underneath that edge. Okay, so soft edge or does it matter? Probably not, but okay, we'll do it like this. Okay, and then I'm going to curl these up a little bit. Sue says she has some of these punches somewhere. I actually have 3 trays of punches and just 3 trays of punches. Like they're good, generous trays. I could bring the whole tray and it would be like this space here, but they fit on shelves, and then I can pull that whole tray and sort what I need, or I can just pull it out and find what I need on it. But just having the 3 really helped me contain, and I did get rid of a few in order to be able to fit that. So because I have the 3, I have a couple of categories that that go. So one tray is all circles. because cutting circles, super painful, right? So I have a whole tray just for circles. And after the circle one, I have a tray just for borders and edges. So like these kind of things. You saw how quick it was to go and grab them, is because there's a tray just for borders and edges. And then I have a tray that is just for shapes. So between those three categories, it helped me organize all of the punches and have something that kind of really made sense for me to be able to access them. And now that those trays are full and I don't really have space there, I'm really not that tempted to shop for those anymore because they're full. And like, has there been other punches that I've come along with? Like, there may be a few that have been added to it, but I will tell you, having that confined space has helped me say, check, that's done. And I'm like, oh, so maybe that's a possibility. Like, I can actually like get the things that I need and be like, that's enough. Maybe it's just that that works well for punches. I don't know. But not having an endless system that can continually be filled up for me has been very good for that. Okay, so we're covering all of the yellow, but out of the colors, oh, you get yellow in the butterflies. It's all good. All good. Okay, so these funny faces are going to come here. Oh, this little smile one with the gold. And I kind of have to grab some other kind of letters for some titles, I think. So, am I going to do in the center or bring it down? Oh, down, I think. And we're going to stick that on there. And I'm going to think about, where do I want title stuff and what am I going to make the title out of? I don't really have a great spot for stamping. Like, I could stamp here, I guess, but it wouldn't be that great. I want to save that as much as possible. Maybe just like a simple word here for now. I know I want this word smile. Ooh, that one didn't pull off. Oh, it's better this way. Ooh, these are super sticky. Oh my gosh. Super sticky. I'm just gonna pop that on right there. And the special places. I clean, organize, then you can't find stuff. It happens. I never have a scrap piece of paper around to write on because they're all meant for art. Yeah, that's you saw me when I'm trying to like write down a note to myself. It was so bad. I'm like, well, not that one, not that one. And I scrapbook changed, not just the paper now. Challenging storing all the collections in kit clubs, right? As you go through different shifts and have different types of supplies, different categories of supplies, and different ways of scrapbooking, it changes a lot. Okay, so this is just too cute. I want to have like maybe some of these flowers. Now, these are kind of clear flowers, but are they see-through? They're see-through too. So if I put them on here, which I'd like to do because I think that would make a really great little embellishment cluster behind the word smile, they're gonna just be see-through and you're gonna see right through them. Yeah, you will. And that will bother me. So we're gonna do something I hate now. I'm gonna fussy cut this. Just because I want to make these embellishment clusters. So I'm gonna fussy cut some stuff. Feels like the end of the world. I wish I just had just this. These were just regular stickers. So if I have this piece and that piece, I might need just one more. So. Okay, let's torture ourselves. And cut some stuff. Put round punches and circles behind them. That would maybe have worked actually. Maybe I should do that instead. Whatever. I'll just fussy cut them. I'm just being lazy. Let's be real. I still do fussy cutting. I just don't have to like it. It's not like the end of the world, I guess. So, yes, storage and having scrapbook supplies. And even if you've gone digital, like you still get the issues with the scrapbook supplies because you still have to store the stuff somewhere, have to be able to access it. You still have to be able to find the things that you have or that you think that you have somewhere, right? And then how much time do you spend like being able to label things or name things? So, it doesn't completely remove all of the issues that come with scrapbooking with supplies. Now, I have seen some scrapbookers that really take this down to like a really simple basic level, and they're not using 10 million different page kits, and they don't have all the tools, and they don't have all the stuff, and then they're making these simple, elegantly beautiful pages. And I look at that and I'm like, anybody think of Emmeline Wright? Like her pages, you see them during load, so nice. And like I think she has a bunch of other scrapbook stuff. I'm not saying that she doesn't have it, but yeah, when I look at the pages that she's making, she's telling such good stories. She's sharing her photos. She's doing all the things. And I'm like, oh, so then I kind of have this little moment of crisis. And I think maybe that's what I should do. I just need to get rid of everything and just do really basic stuff. And I try scrapbooking like that for 1 minute and it doesn't work. Because I can't scrapbook like that. I'm like, ooh, but then I could put this thing. Like, that's what I like. I just like having way too much stuff and way too many things and access to all the crazies. So there we go. Like, it's a thing. Organizing digital supplies is a thing, says Sue. Ray says, too funny. I was going to fussy cut some scallop paper and then I straight cut it and said, oh, that's great. Yes. To me, fussy cutting is like the F word of our scrapbooking industry. Every time it comes up, it's like, oh. But I guarantee you look at my pages, you see I still do it. Let's see. April says my punches are in vinyl pockets on the back of my craft door. I have seen that quite a bit with punches, and that can be really great if you have that door that you can hang the stuff on, right? Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes like the amount of supplies gets in the way. Like I used to be bad for that myself, where I really felt like I needed everything to be able to do the scrapbooking. And so when I went to crops, oh my gosh, you guys, you should see. It was crazy. I hauled like, I'm not kidding, the kitchen sink. It was like I hauled everything. We had rolling carts. I took my generations tower that had the pull-out drawer. I took that with me to a crop. Like, Kelly gets it. She's like laughing. Yes, the Generations tower that has like all the pull-out drawers that stands like this tall off the ground. Yeah, I took that to a crop because I was like, I don't know what to take. What if I need it? And like, I think that whole weekend I made 2 pages, maybe 2. Like, that's it, 2. I took a bunch of classes, so it's not like I just sat there doing nothing. Well, I talked a lot, so let's be real. But yeah, just looking at that and thinking that I needed all of the things became a barrier to actually like doing scrapbooking. Because how many crops are you going to go to if you have to take a rolling Generations tower with you? Like, and that's just like one of the pieces that came with me. It's that wasn't the only thing. So yeah.
I remember going to like one of the first crops I went to, and like how cool it was that like whatever picture I was working on, I just wander the store and there would be paper there, right?
Yeah.
And so then I got the idea, well, I needed my own house to kind of be like that a little bit, right? You know, so you just start buying like just general paper because you're like, well, I'll use it for something, you know, and it just sort of justified collecting everything because I was like, I'll use it in the future. It'll just be there when I need it, you know?
And that's how it all started.
And that's how
Right?
it starts. Yeah.
Yep. I totally get that. And it was funny because I was in a store one time and the person was making a page and she had something left over and it was like maybe like a pattern paper, but it was like maybe this much. Like, so that's quite a bit if on a pattern paper that's left over. And she literally took that and whatever scraps were left from the little kit she used and she put them in the garbage. I just about died. I just died that she took all that stuff and she's like, well, I'm done with it. What am I going to do with it now? Am I going to save it? She's like, I'll never use it. And
It's called like scrapbooking.
right? I guess she didn't know that scrapbooking might have scraps in it or something. I don't know. It was so funny to me that she just took and threw out all the stuff that she was done with. And like, I look at the cost of a paper and like, even back then they were $1 a sheet and probably more for some, like, and like now it's like, oh, I found one for $1. Good deal. Like, you know, you end up paying even more than that for many of them now. But like, man, when just seeing her like just throw it out. Like, I was having a moment. A little heart attack. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
try working in a scrapbook store. Tell me how much stuff do you think I had? That was only on Saturdays. And the merchandise came in, and Debbie worked there too. And every time it came, the owner said, oh, look, Donna, here's something new. You need 2 of these and 2 of these and 2 of these. And just about all of it, it's like, that's way over 20 years old. I don't want it anymore. I've got some of it, but not most of the designs weren't too pretty back then.
Well, I really
Yeah.
look and styles change and everything changes. And like, there's some collections that at the time I just loved. It was the best thing in the world. That was the collection. I was going to use that for everything, for something. Like, why would I think I was going to use one collection for everything? That's hilarious. But I loved that collection so much. It was going to be for everything. And I bought enough to last me a lifetime. And later, when you haven't used all that stuff up and you're looking at it and you're like, wow, I have a lot of that. A lot. What do you even do with it? Like, you knew how much you loved it at the time, and it's not like I don't hate it now, but I don't love it. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So funny little thing, you need a scan and cut, although then you'd have to get it out, which might take as long as possible. I have a scan and cut. The thing is like torture. Like, oh, I could use it, but that would take a while. I'm faster at fussy cutting than scanning and cutting. And like, don't even ask me about like why I haven't cut. I forgot to tell you guys, there is an amazing cut file. I was tempted to almost tempted to try. Look at the cut file that is in their May kit. This going places, and it has like the little like negative strip or whatever, the film strip. I was like, oh, and it has like the little geotag as the O. I'm like all over that. That's the thing. Oh, I printed the sketch. Oh, on my printer downstairs. The sketch is gorgeous this month too. They like nailed it. The ScrapRoom did so good. Their stuff is fantastic. And yeah, I was almost tempted, but then I'm like, ooh. Then I looked at the pictures. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't need that this month. So so then I didn't worry about it. But oh my gosh, like Alice, like trying to use the technology when I just had a Cricut and it had a cartridge and I just had to select on the screen, turn to page 28. Oh, that's the one I want. Press this and that, done. Then I could work a machine. But I tell you, all these new fancy stuff is like too much for me. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to spend all the time that I need on the computer to learn how to do the stuff. I'm trying to play with paper here. Like, did they forget that? I'm a paper scrapbooker. I'm not a computer person. Yeah. So it's great. The other issue that Robin says I have is what to do with all the photos I printed, but don't make it on a page. So I can tell you, Robin, what Stacey Julian does. And I thought it was kind of creative, and I did it for a while, and then I stopped because, sometimes the consistency is a thing. But what she does is she takes those pictures, those leftover pictures, and she sorts them into categories by the people. And so they become like reference files so that you can make other comparisons. So that when you're looking through that picture, oh, you just need a picture of this kid. Maybe your oldest son, you need a picture of your oldest son, you go to his file with these leftover photos and you find just the perfect photo. And then as you're looking through those photos and you look through his dad's photos, like you're like looking and you're like, wow, they both make that funny little thing where they turn their head funny or they kind of blink funny, or they both just do this all the time. And so seeing those pictures kind of out of the context of scrapbooking this one event helps you tell different stories and find different connections within your family. And I thought that was super creative. So that's one option. Because I print my photos at home now. If I print a photo and I don't end up using it, I just throw it out. Now. I can just print another one if I need it, and I decide I need that picture later, so I just throw them out. And that would have terrified me years ago, but now, like, because I print here, it makes it really different. Jen said she got very little done at crops too. Yeah. So funny. I'm just kind of catching up with some of your messages. Marcia said, I loved going to crops at Archivers. It was easier to just buy it there, and then I only bought things when I needed them. Right? Yeah. And then there was no local scrapbook store, says April, where you can't just run out and get what you need. So you need to own everything that you might need. Right. Ray says, I had a friend that did that with the throwing out the pieces of paper, like, and I said, please give me your straps. I really needed them. I just couldn't take it. Yeah, April inherited her mom's stuff. Yeah, so funny. And Dawn says, I love my 20-year-old vintage papers. Some of them are great. And some of them like, wow, this didn't age well.
I bought this one at Hobby Lobby this last week because it looked like basic gray paper.
That totally looks like basic gray.
And I love basic gray was one of those kits. I was like, I could use this for everything.
Basic gray was. And honestly, you could. I could pull out basic gray right now and be like, this is perfect. It totally makes me think of like Vicky Booten, actually. Like she probably grew up on basic gray, let's be real.
I was looking at right-click scrapbooking for a Cartabella kit. And when I logged in, I looked to see what the last thing I bought was and to make sure I still have those digital kits. BG, what is BG? So I opened them up. They were basic gray.
Yeah, well, they were a big one. Once we didn't have them, it's like we're missing stuff. Okay. Do I want that like that? Or do I want that with like a little bit of flower tucked under it? Oh, yeah. Let's do that. This, once I stick it, is going to stick. Like I could barely get it off the sticker sheet. So I think this little clear sticker is going to be okay right here with just that little bit accenting right there. I don't want to cover too much, but we can accent on top of a photo, right? That's not a bad thing. And then we're going to bring this one underneath. Because this is a little bit lighter and less busy, I don't feel so bad about putting them without having this stuff. I'm not going to stand out as much, but that's okay. Then I like to get that other little bit of gold on there. I do have these little gold stars. Okay, well, I don't have my journaling and stuff done because we don't do that. And I might end up adding a different little title depending on how things go when I'm writing. But let's see. We'll see. I think for now, we're just going to call this. We're going to call this good for now. I think it's pretty. It's obviously not done. It needs words. And I feel it needs a couple little finishing touches. So whatever. It's amazing just how much you think you'll use of a collection, right? That's actually one of the reasons I love these kits, because I get to try this collection, but I didn't have to buy 12 sheets of this collection. And let's be real, when I get to see all of the pretty ones, do I just pick the butterfly and this and the wood grain one that had the blue on it? No, I don't just pick 3, which was obviously works just fine for making a page for me. No, I buy like 12 sheets and then I use 3 and then I have like all these leftover ones. Yeah. Marcia says, I did recently use some products that are 10 or more years old, but honestly, I'm sure I could have used something more recent and wouldn't have missed the older stuff. Yeah, the
honestly,
crop file. Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say that's one of my favorite things about these kits. That's what I'm using right now. I had to downsize to an apartment while we're house hunting. And the only thing I brought with me were probably about 4 months worth of the ScrapRoom kits. And I'm loving it because everything I have is current. Everything I have, I love. And not having so many choices is actually easier for me to make decisions on my pages. So just those 3 or 4 pages, just the little spattering of embellishments, like it's been perfect. I'm going to re-up that subscription, like probably before I should, just because I love it so much.
I'm so surprised at how, like, I never was that person that felt like less is more. And literally, you know, and I think I find a way to work with what I have, right? And I have the advantage of having tools, like my little tools. But if I didn't have this and I wanted to do something fun like that, I could easily have done like a little torn edge or something like that. Like, so I I took a bag one weekend for a scrapbooking thing. It wasn't a scrapbooking event. I was just scrapbooking because we were sitting at a trade show. It was really, really boring. So I was scrapbooking while we were there, and I forgot my paper trimmer. I was like, what am I going to do without a paper trimmer? Turns out I made amazing pages even without a paper trimmer because I was just forced to be creative. Yeah, Donna says, donate leftovers to schools that are 99% poverty. I do that with clothes and shoes too. They're so appreciative. Yeah, throwing out saves you the whole having a system of storing them. And Dawn says a junk journal can accommodate any kind of vintage paper. And yeah, Sharon says she still has basic gray and uses it too. I guarantee I could find some in my room. So yeah, Marge says a friend is downsizing her large stash. We do a crop once a month, so I'm sharing with everyone at the crop. Thank you. Yeah, right. The irony of this page is so pretty. The pictures are so awful, and we're making these faces even though we're laughing our butts off. Like this page is like, yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do our draw now because that would be really fun. Let's bring you back to here. I didn't do it. Oh, I know what I did. I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, let's pull up my random number generator and put away my Fire apps. Random number generator. And let's have a look at our participant list. So we have 35 here today. Thanks for spending part of International Scrapbook Day with me. That was really nice of you. So 35, one of them is me. So then I will hit generate and we have 24. Can you read that? I can barely read it. There we go. 24. So I'm counting. 22, 23, 24. Marcia Fortunato, you are super fortunate. So congratulations to Marcia. You will be our winner of Marcia.
Thank you so much. The last few I've been to have been either like one before me or one after me. So
Well, it was your time. So if you can
Thank
pop me an email to alice@alicebull.com and I will send that off to Rochelle and she will get you hooked up with your kit. She actually puts the May kit aside. So you will get this butterfly paper and those other 3 kits as well. She sets it aside for our winner. So yeah, very appreciative. Jen says, I'm using basic grade letter stickers today. I have to glue them on because they're not at all sticky, but I'm using them. Yes! Like super win, right? Okay, well, I definitely am not in a place to start a new page. I don't want to sit here and journal in front of you because that would be boring. But I thought what I could do is show you the other load pages that I've made this month before I wrap things up. And then I'm going to go and visit my aunt who just arrived from Wales. I didn't get to go see her yesterday because of office work. I usually only do office work on Thursday, but this time it was Thursday and Friday. Fun. But I thought I'd show you my pages. And while I still have it out, I'll show this again. I showed this somewhere the other day. We were talking about stuff. And so I'll show this. This is my very, very first scrapbook page that I've ever made. I know the kits are amazing. The ScrapRoom kits are amazing. Okay, so here is my very first scrapbook page that I ever made. It was one of those creative memories sessions where they say just bring 5 photos and show up, and I brought 5 semi-unrelated photos that I thought were great. Yes, this is very creative memories. 1997, probably made around 1997, like possibly into 98, but I know it wasn't 99 because my son was born and then I would have had pictures of him. So this is like my hair the day after I let it down after my wedding party. Like our wedding party. And apparently I thought I looked like an angel, really sweet there. Like it's just so funny to see like how cheesy it was, like the things that I chose, to see how, like, thankfully we had a dog, so my page looks like it's somewhat related to something else on the page. There's no story, it's just random photos stuck in the corner, one in the middle. We did fancy cutting, obviously, to make shapes. I've got the little triangles and awesome ribbon stickers. Look at those stickers. Aren't they great? So confetti, ribbons and confetti. But that was my very first page. And I didn't actually start scrapbooking right here. I became a scrapbooker after. Ooh, I'm gonna try something else. We didn't get to try this. I became a scrapbooker after this, when my son was born, and I started making his baby album. And a lot of the first pages look similar to this in his baby album. But things change, and I fell in love with the scrapbooking, and I kept going with it. So things look a little different now. And we are doing our load challenge. I was talking about that earlier. And for day number 1, we were talking about Jim Henson, which, you know, I thought let's just start with the guy that started it all. And he often worked outside the picture, right? Because he was off the screen and he let the Muppets take the starring role. So our story prompt was to scrapbook someone essential to your life, your family, or a group that you're in, but they never take center stage. Can't think of someone? It might be you. And for a technique inspired by the way Jim Henson would hide himself as the puppeteer so that you'd only see the Muppet, include hidden journaling or a surprise that's hiding on your layout. And so I made this fun little page, and this actually would have been almost perfect for the next day because it's very green. But I scrapbooked about my cousin who I got to go see in Wales, and she really helped make our trip special. And that's why I chose to go with the stars, because she's like a shining star. And then she actually does helpful stuff all the time. She's always helping at the school that she works at. She helped with the National Health Service with immunizations when everything was really busy there. And she's always helping in the community. And so I always see stuff about ways that she's helping. And I just thought that would be fun to kind of feature her. And so I used a stencil just with ink. And then I did some tracing around the edges of some of the stars here where the colors were a little bit lighter. And I thought that was kind of a fun little change. And then I did put a little bit of stuff through a stencil as well. So I kind of was playing with all of those textures. Is there a big surprise hiding? Not so much, but I think that just the way I played with my textures, it was making me feel like I was doing something special. So I'll give myself credit for that. Yeah, the background has a pretty cool texture. Our next day, we were talking about Kermit the Frog, and we were talking about how Kermit kind of holds all of the Muppets together. He kind of like gathered them all up, and he's kind of turned them into a family, right? Bringing them together. And so we were talking about, okay, so our story was to scrapbook an event that brought people together. And as Kermit saying, it's not easy being green, create a monochromatic green layout. And after that day, I'm like, did I make these prompts? I knew that the next day was green, and I still did that one all in green. So whatever. But yeah, I made this page here. And so I have one thing to add to it after, I just have to find it in my email. When I was on the cruise, I got the chance to go to a writing session, and then we kind of became a writing group, and we wrote a little story together where we each kind of wrote a chapter from a different character's perspective, but along the same storyline. And it was about a cat that snuck onto the cruise ship in her owner's bag. So it was a catastrophe, which So that was kind of fun. And we took a picture of our group together, and I've made this into a little pocket up top. So I'll be able to slip our little story into the top of this. And I thought this is just the cutest little punch that I have, and I don't use it often enough. So it had to go on the page. And this background paper, it was pre-done like that. So, you know, that's Lawn Fawn. They did some watercolor papers that were super nice. If anybody's like, I love the look of watercolor, but no. Or they want to try watercolor, but they don't want to have like wrinkly paper. You want to have like really nice flat paper. Check out some of the stuff that Lawn Fawn did. It was pretty good. And then for day 3, we were talking about Ernie, and we all know that Ernie loves, it's a large book punch. It has like multiple layers so that you can do all the layers. It's kind of cute, hey? Yeah. Anyways, Ernie, he loves silly and energetic activities. He obviously loves his rubber ducky. Scrap about one of your favorite silly and or energetic activities. Use orange like Ernie and a hint of red like his nose. And I kind of turned that around and I used red with a hint of orange. Because, you know, rules are there as a suggestion. And so I scrapbooked about taking these wooden toboggan sleds down the hill in Madeira. And that was super fun. We put the fun in Funchal. That's the name of the town. So I went for all the cheesy, bring on the fun, literally bring on the fun, and went for it with this. And it's actually really simple layout. So had fun.
Is that woven paper actually like textured, or it just looks textured?
Just looks textured. It's just a flat.
Okay, I wasn't
it's like
sure.
actually like picture of it.
Okay.
It's actually from the scrapbook store on Maui. Because
Okay.
I have some kind of weaved baskety kind of paper somewhere, and then I'm thinking like, where would that be? I'm like, Hawaii. It's from Hawaii. That's in my Hawaii stuff, because Hawaii stuff goes in one spot.
Looks very real.
Yeah, it's like that photorealistic. She has like a few different papers that she makes because she makes them there, and some of them like are very photorealistic. So
Yeah.
Super nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was very happy with her with like the things. Like it's very thin paper, but just the cool patterns that she does, because they're so like Hawaii, right? Then when you get the stuff and you bring it home, it's like, oh, this is so perfect for working with those photos, with the pictures you have. Oh, and Marcy says, I was actually just working with someone who was teaching me watercolor pen work. I'm excited to bring that to my scrapbooking. So fun. Okay, I had a lot of fun with this next one. Our next one was Bert. Now, you might think you're having fun with Bert. Bert is, you know, serious, studious, and, you know, he's always trying to be like, he's trying to figure out all that crazy stuff that Ernie gets into, but he does have his collections, his bottle cap collection, his paperclip collection. And so our question was, do you have a collection, or maybe you enjoy a hobby that others consider boring or not exciting? Scrapbook it. And I loved the collection that our featured designer showcased, because she showcased her Disney mugs. And it's like a collection without being like maybe something that you would think of like a collection, right? It's the mugs in your cupboard that you use, but she thought of them like a collection, and she said she'd been wanting to scrapbook them. And for technique, it was used the grid design. And I kind of did set that up on purpose, because I thought if we're doing a collection and you want to show multiple things from a collection, a grid would be probably helpful. Like, so so I actually did a page about our trip, and I scrapbooked about the painted doors on the street. It's called Rue de Santa Maria in Funchal. And you walk down the street and they have all these different painted doors. And so we were collecting the pictures of these doors as we went along. And I used a bunch of flip flaps, like little mini flip flaps on this page, so that I could showcase more of the fun designs of these doors. So I was able to fit most of them onto the thing, and it was just a really fun thing. When I read about it, I'm like, oh, we have to go there. We have to go see that. And then it was kind of fun, like, and then my husband was like, whatever, see doors, whatever. But you know, him collecting the photos of me kind of became the fun for him. So it was yeah, turned out to be really a cool thing. And then yesterday we were scrapbooking inspired by Grover, another one of my very favorite Muppets. And I had so many fun things that I wanted to share on the Grover Day. It's so funny. And so we talked about Grover's near and far sketch because he likes to teach the near and far. And so I said, inspired by his near and far sketch, scrapbook a layout comparing something about yourself from the near past and the far past. And then our featured designer, Sue, she's actually here right now, she scrapbooked like her old house and her new house. And I'm like, ooh, she just like kind of like took it and like ran with it. And it was just so kind of like what I had kind of envisioned with this page. And then we said to use big and small letters for your multi-word title. And I thought, so much fun. And then I ended up doing a picture from my first trip to Disneyland and then a picture from our more recent trip to Disneyland. And I had this super fun stencil from Scrap and Reflections. She's been doing some of our prize. She's done some surprise stencils for us. We just had like music note one that she did. And this one is she calls it mouse ears. And she actually did that star one too that you saw on the other one. That's also a Scrap and Reflection. I love her stencils so much. And so, yeah, I did like the always fabulous fun. I wouldn't say these are that much bigger, but you know, I use different fonts. That counts. So super fun. And then today I have my page that I think it needs another title. It needs to talk about these faces, and obviously it will share the story, but I think it's got to be like ew or gross or what is this or something like that. So I'm gonna have to find a nice dramatic title to go with our dramatic photos, but disgust, right? Yes. So super fun, inspired by Oscar the Grouch. Been a great month of scrapping. I'm having a really good time with putting all the videos together and seeing layouts that are coming in and how everything gets inspired. And oh, Marcia asked, where's Funchal? So it is the town on the island of Madeira. And if you're looking at a map of the world and you have Europe up here and you have Africa down here, kind of just out here, there's a little island, and that's the island of Madeira, and it's actually part of Portugal, but it's not that close, like close-ish, I guess. And that was the first place we stopped when we did our cruise. And then it turned out to be the only place we stopped when we did our cruise because the weather changed and they had to change the itinerary. We went straight up to England. But yeah, it was really fun. They had like that basket rides. We saw the painted doors. We kind of did all the things. We did the cable car. We tried to do as many of the things as possible, but it was just beautiful. So beautiful there. I really, really liked it. Good. Yeah, our grouchy faces. I love it. You guys are so good. Oh, it's funny, Kelly. I didn't even see that you had typed that wrong because like my brain saw it the way it was supposed to be. It's so funny how it just does it. No, this was so much fun, you guys. I've really enjoyed hanging out with you today, but I'm going to wrap it up so that I can go and get ready to see my aunt, which I'm really excited. She's come over from Wales for a visit and get to hang out with her. Let's go here for a second. I just want to say thank you for joining me. If you're watching the replay of this on YouTube and you're like, how do I join in the fun next time? How do I get in on the draw for the kit from the scrap room next time? Then you have to go over to scraphappy.org/subscribe. Let's see if I can actually pull up the right thing. Is this it? It is. Okay. So that's the link to go get on the email list, or you could come and join the Scrap Happy community and just go to scraphappy.org and you can come and join Scrap Happy. You can still jump into our Muppet themed load. Like, you won't be a finisher because you will have missed the first days, but you can jump into all the fun, and it has been a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining me.
I just wanted, sorry to interrupt. I want to hear you tell us sometime all about your cruises.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Well, remind me on our Scrap Happy together. I'll do that next on Wednesday, because we do that on Wednesday. I know.
Okay.
Chat about that, because
Yeah. Want to hear all about it.
I love cruising. It's been the best. So yeah, super fun.
Fun.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you everyone so much for joining me. And if you're looking for the kits, this from the Scrap Room, go to scrap-room.com and you can look for the flavors of the month kit. So sometimes they still have them left by now. Sometimes they don't. So good luck. Okay. Until next time, you guys, happy scrapping. Bye.